Hello, Shon Hudspeth here. And as you all know, it's been a pretty rough couple months for our family. If you aren't aware, we lost our beautiful mother 2 months ago, yesterday, and we lost our beautiful sister this past Thursday, 4 days ago. My mother Joanne and my sister Shayna were the lights of our eyes, and we loved them so dearly, and we miss them so much. And I had just, been praying and asking God to kind of give me a little bit of comfort, a little assurance that, they know how much we miss them, and if He would just kind of give me a sign that they know we're still down here and that we know that they're up there. And it's so kind of amazing because my mom, being the green thumb that she is, had a house full of plants everywhere. But there was one particular flower that was given to her for Mother's Day, probably 8 years ago or so, by one of her adopted children. And he sent it to her through a florist, and when it arrived, it was an orchid. And the amazing part was it had 4 blooms on it. And she always said, "Oh, it has one for all 4 of my children. That's amazing," And so we're like, "Oh, that's so sweet, Mother." Well, the next year, when it bloomed, it had 5 blooms. And she was like, "Oh my goodness, now it's all 4 children and my adopted child, the one that sent it to me." Mother always had a way of finding the beauty in all of it and seeing how God, nature, and all of us are kind of united. So something amazing happened. I had a couple of my dear friends that, being so thoughtful, the day after Mother graduated to go see the Lord Jesus in heaven, they wanted to stop by and just, kind of give me some consolation. And they said, "Are you home?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "I'll be here in 10 minutes. I was like, "Okay." So he stops by, he and another dear friend of mine, and they bring a beautiful flower. And they said, "We want this to be in honor of your mother." Of course, this person had no idea that the flower that they were bringing would be something so special. The flower they brought was, of course, an orchid, just like my mother had in her home. And they had no idea. There's no way they could have known. And they hand brought it. It wasn't done by a florist. So they delivered it in person. And the unique thing about it is that at the very bottom of the vase, they had these really cool tropical flowers here, which to me, I'd never seen before. And especially how it was so great to have them at the very base of the flower. And then when you go to the top of it, you'll see the orchid. Because so normally it's just the top of the flower, but they had, I think they're called ginger. I think those are ginger now. It's a form of ginger. Anyway, long story short, the great thing about this is not only did the flower give me peace for the past month and a half, because every time I would go and water it, I would think of Mom. And I was like, man, it's like she's right here with me, Like I got a part of her in my home, even in the flower field. Well, I normally, water my plants on Tuesdays, and I had, of course, done so. And then yesterday and Sunday, I felt God saying, "You need to water your plants." And I was like, "Well, Lord, why would I need to do it on Sunday? I did it this past Tuesday." And of course, my sister had passed away on Thursday. And my sister's favorite color was purple. Lavender, purple, violet, any shade. People may not have known that, but I, of course, knew it. And so it's something, anytime I see purple, I'm like, man, that reminds me of Shayna, my sweet sister. So I go to water the flowers, and as I'm watering the plant, and of course, I had done it every week for the past month and a half, once the water goes into the vase, I look down, and all of a sudden, there's something peering on top of this beautiful ginger here. And what is it? A single purple bloom, a single purple flower. And to me, it was God's way of saying, your mother and your sister are in heaven. They're both together, and they're both living not only in heaven with Him, but also in my heart and home. And so, if you find that odd, this isn't for you anyway. When we ask God for something, we have to believe that He's going to communicate with us. He specializes and makes them personalized for each one of us. So I feel like I had to share this with you because it really touched my heart, and I was hoping it would touch yours as well. So I hope you have a beautiful day, and I hope that you see God in it, because you know what? He's everywhere. Much love, and God bless you.